this canvas is a painting I'm working on. Oh, not right now, but I have been over time, and it's about COVID and just kind of like how I was feeling in that period. It was a lot of like fear and anger and like introspection. And so, and also like a lot of like health fear and anxiety, like worrying about getting sick all the time, or worrying about my family. Like, because I feel like there's been a lot of facts lately. Like, I mean, there's a lot of facts all the time. That's not too specific, but with COVID and like everything with 2020, it feels like there's so much information all the time that you like constantly need to be aware of. And so I guess it just puts everything in like the medical sterile lens, if it's the anatomical drawing, rather than like, I typically am a figurative painter, but what I typically draw is people with skin on. It's my preference. Or like not charm, but like character that is captured over time when you're painting from something live or sculpting or drawing, because that person, they're standing there in front of you, they're holding their arm is like shaking over time, and their expression is whatever their truest emotion is at that time. If someone, I've had models there that don't want to be there for whatever reason, they've come into the classroom and they're in a bad mood, and you can a palette knife. Let's mix some paint. Oh my gosh, let's make some pink. Okay, so I always mess this up because it's backwards in the camera, so I'm just gonna hold it and then I'm gonna not look at it, because otherwise. Okay, so I've got a little bit of yellow left on my palette knife, but honestly the red is a more powerful pigment than the yellow, and it's fine if a little bit gets blended in, because it's not really gonna make that much of a difference overall to your color. And I often find that a little bit of the other colors you're using in your palette often is really helpful to incorporate into like the yellow going into the red, because it makes a more uniform palette overall in your painting. Just with those little subtle tints, just kind of brings it all together, brings it in the same realm. And this is my son. This is Dan. Danvers, Daniel. And he will be here all the time because he's kind of obsessed with me and I'm kind of obsessed with him. What? So don't worry, he will be. Gamsol is really important, also for cleaning your brushes. At the end of your painting period, you're gonna wipe out your brush into like a towel, and then after you wipe it out and you get as much as you can, then you rinse really thoroughly in the Gamsol, and then you dry your brush as best you can. I like to do the Bob Ross method of like flapping it against. How it has all the primary colors, and there's like a couple little lightened version of the primary colors, but there's not any raw colors that are not in there, so I can use just, I think for this one I can use red, yellow, blue, some white, and maybe, no, I think that's it, because I think the darker red I'll achieve with a pinch of white and adding blue in. I know, this is like so cringy to some people, it's like unbearable to hear, but I got too many bones. Okay, so this is a good wrist